Alright everybody, welcome to 6.2 Dividing Polynomials. Hopefully you've survived the first section. That's down here at the bottom. Previously we added, subtracted, multiplied polynomials. We learned about degree too. Some of these things you've already seen before, but it was just kind of a rehashing of those topics. In this section, what you're going to do is you're going to learn how to divide. And it's going to start simple, just kind of like a cancellation technique, but then we're going to take an old long division look at this, and then learn something probably new to you called synthetic division, and that's this word right here, synthetic and long. We're going to divide this up into two videos. The first one's going to be just simple simplifying, and and long division, and the second one will involve synthetic division. So here we go. So on this first one, what I would like to I guess one of the things I want you to look for is basically when you have just one term on the bottom as your denominator, that's a good indicator that you should use this cancellation technique. So notice I have taken each term, the first one, second one, and the third one, and I have divided them each vertically just like this. And this is going to kind of revert back to section 1. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. R squared and R, that's 2 minus 1 using our quotient property. So that's R to the first power. 2 minus 1 is 1. S squared over S is 2 minus 1 again. S to the first. And so on. So the only thing that's left on this one is an S. And that shows up in the middle term. And then lastly, 9 divided by 3 is 3. R squared over R is R. And the S's cancel out. So if you want to pause the video and try this number 2 over here on the right, you can. I'll probably talk about this one in class, see if you have any questions on it. So go ahead and pause and try your best on that one. Real quickly, here are 3 ways that you might see division shown. The first one is, obviously you have to have a polynomial first, but they'll use the divide sign. You know, something that you're used to, that divide sign by a term. They also might show it like, it seems like they're multiplying here, but they're not. This -1 really means, for us, it means 1 over 3xy. See if my pen works? Good. Alright. So that would mean really this part all over the 3xy. So it would be right here at the 1. See if you can make sense out of that. A -1 exponent right there is a little tricky. And then finally, the third way is to show you just in the simple fraction like you see here. Divided by 5ab. Okay, this next slide's pretty heavy. Let's kind of work through the question first. We're going to do long division here. And we have a polynomial at the first, h cubed minus 11h plus 28. And it's going to be really divided by h minus 4. That -1 that's right here up in the corner means to divide by h minus 4. So here's my setup. I'm going to use the old little bracket that you used to use back in middle school, elementary school. And the h minus 4 goes right there. You see it, h minus 4. That's right there. And then h cubed plus 0h squared. That's not in the original problem. But we've got to actually placehold with the 3 and then 2. And then we have our 1 of 11h to the first and then 28. So when you have a gap in your descending order, make sure you put a 0h squared or 0x squared, whatever that ends up being for that place spot. Go ahead and put that. So how in the world do we start this problem? I'll show you. We are going to begin by taking the first term, h cubed, right here, and we're going to divide it, and so kind of follow me over to this spot, divided by the h right here. So first divided by first gives us h squared. So I'm going to highlight that in red. So h squared is going to go in our answer portion right there. So what do? You take the h squared and you multiply it by the h out here in front, right there, and you get h cubed, and I'll just kind of highlight that. So h cubed right there, h squared times h is h cubed, and h squared times -4 is -4h squared, which we put right here. So then we subtract. And there's my subtraction showing. H cubed minus h cubed is 0. I don't have to put anything there. And then that 0h squared minus a negative. So that's 0 plus 4h squared. So I put 4h squared right there. So now we're back to the beginning. I take this 4h squared and I am actually going to put it right there. And so from there, I will divide it by, again, the front h. And I get my 4h. Let's highlight that. Okay? And I'm going to put that as my next little answer. So plus 4h. So 4h times h is 4h squared right here. And 4h times negative 4 is negative 16h. Don't worry about these two problems right here. Those are future problems, so just ignore them for a moment. I'm sorry they're in the way. I got negative 16h. So I'm going to subtract 4h squared minus 4h squared is 0. And negative 11 plus 16 is 5h. So 5h comes right here. And I divide it by the original h out front. So I get 5. So I put that 5 up here in the top like we've been doing so far. And that 5 times that h out in front right here, again, is 5h. And 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So I subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0. And 28 negative and a minus, that's plus 20, is 48. Now, I don't have anything else to bring down on the problem, so therefore I'm going to stop. And this will be my remainder. You guys probably remember remainder back in the day. So I'm going to put plus 48, all right, that 48, divided by what was out front, h minus 4. And you just simply write it like this. And this whole thing becomes your answer. Okay? Let's look at another problem. Okay, you guys are probably like, why would you ever make us do this? But we're going to try this one real fast. So I am going to begin with a squared and divide it by my negative a. Alright, the first one, a squared over here, divided by negative a out in the front, and I'm going to get negative a. Alright, so I'll put it right here. And negative a times negative a is positive a squared. And negative a times 3 is minus 3a. I'll draw my line. I'm going to subtract. And a squared minus a squared is 0a squared. So I don't have to put anything right here. But I will put 7 minus a negative 3. That's plus 3, so that's going to be 10a. And I'll just bring down my negative 11 right here. So now I'm going to take this 10a and divide it by negative a. So let me get my pen back up here. 10a divided by negative a. My a's are going to cancel out, and I'm going to get a negative 10. So that goes right here. And negative 10 times negative a is a positive 10a. Oh, there we go. And negative 10 times 3 is negative 30. Am I going to write over my picture? I did. Wow, it works. And I will subtract again. And 10 minus 10 is 0, and negative 11 plus 30, let's see, plus 30, let's see, negative 11. I guess that's going to be 19. Alright, so I have 19 there, and I can't bring anything else down, so I will have a plus 19 divided by, I ran out of room, I wrote it too big, negative a plus 3. And that is my final answer. Alright? Why don't you guys try this last one? It may actually not have a remainder on this one. So try this last one, and we'll talk about it in class. All right?